Welcome back to the shop. Hi guys. So we are at the monumental phase of installing binding and purflings, and I had to go and make things tricky for myself and cut so I have a double purfling. So it's 2 layers of purfling on the front and back sides, and then the binding. So what that means is a little tricky on the glue up. But before I get to that point, I need to work out lengths. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to probably get myself some tape ready here. I've got my binding pre-bent. You saw that. I pre-bent the binding, and it's ready to receive. And from there, what I'll do is I'm just going to take a little bit. I want to put it in here where I want the waist. So what I need to do is cut this end where it needs to be, so that it joins nicely down here on the heel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a bit of tape right here just to hold it in position so I can mark it. Now that's where it's going to be. Now I can come down here and find the center of my heel graft. I have to be very careful with this stuff. It's rosewood and it's a bit splintery, and so I don't want to slice myself to bits. But what I have to do is first and foremost I've got to get the length right, and then I've got to get that miter on there so that it cuts right where it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it a little further out here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tape it over here first. Okay. Make sure that we are exactly where I want to be here. Just right. Okay. Then I've got to figure how to cut where I need to cut there. I'm going to tape this one down just so I'm safe. I'm not really looking at it for length yet, but I am just getting it so that it's not flopping in the breeze there. So it's at least affixed. And so now I'm wondering if I should bring you guys down a little bit here and see what's going on down here. So right now it's about 4 inches longer than it needs to be. It needs to be cut about here. And I'm thinking, I thought about mitering it, but I'm thinking I'm not going to bother mitering. I think I'm just going to cut it straight off and hope that I get that miter right in the right spot. So this is getting me a first glimpse of what the binding's going to look like on this thing now, so that's kind of cool. Check that out. How'd I call? Anyway. Yeah, I think I'll bring you in a little, and I'll get myself prepared more here to cut that right where it needs to be cut. I'll bring you back in just a second. Alright, I've been hemming and hawing here at this point because I don't want to screw this up. But we've got our binding in the place that it needs to go. And what I basically want to do, is mark where I want to cut it so that it puts the joint basically on the center of this graft here. So I'm just going to very carefully eyeball that. Okay. Then I think I can take my tape off here. We'll save that because I'm cheap. And this should let me work out the cut, the first cut, and then the second one I'll cut to fit this one, to butt up against this one. So go to this, and then I'll take here, I think I'll just do it. I think I'm going to take a, I guess I could do it with the saw. Kind of want to put the parrot vise together here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it with a nipper a bit away, and then I'll sand to it. That's what I will do. So I'll just take these side cutters, and I'll be 1/4 inch away, and just pop it. Popped. Okay. Now I'm about 1/4 inch away. I could probably get closer now that I've seen how this cuts. There we go. That's about as close as I dare get. Now I can go to the sander here and sand this, excuse me, sand this square. Alright. So now, just over at the sander, and I can hold this down right here and just have it sand. See if I can do this slowly, if I want to do it under power or not. So a little bit of noise for you here. A little bit of sandpaper. I'm not quite to my line yet. I'm going to go a little closer. Go a lot lighter now. There we go. That looks really straight. I think it's good. That looks really straight, and I just barely nibbed my line here. So actually, there's that 220 stuff there. Just take a little bit to clean off some fringes, but I'm pretty clean on the cut there. I'm gonna see if I can get you a shot of it here. Probably can't see that real well, but I left my line just barely. That's what that light spot is up here, up on the top side here. So now I got to get the other piece in. I'm going to put this one back in place, get the other piece in, and mark where it needs to cut. So firstly, because this is going to be basically a dry run of the assembly now, is I'm going to put this right in where I want it centered, and I'll start with the taping on this end this time. Let's go right there. Yeah, that looks good. I still have to miter this white stuff, the maple bit, but that will come in due time. We'll put this one right there. Keep it held on there nicely. On and down, and then we'll just stick it over here. So this one's going to get in the way when I get to the second piece on here. So I'm going to try to keep it down flat as far as I can so that I'm not fighting with it too much. But it's going to be left a bit till we get to the other side of this. So, all right, now that's exactly where I want it to be. Watch out for splinters. That's right where I want it. That's good. Yeah, that'll be right perfect. Double check that just looking at it. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Now we'll set it back into place here. Now we can take this other side, and I'll basically do like I did before, is I'll stick it in at the waist and get it sort of where I want the waist to go. Where's a good waist spot here? If I go this way, I'm fighting. This way, I'm fighting. This way is right there. Okay. little bit more tape here. Just a little. Alright. Let's stick this one in as close as we can get it, but we'll just keep it sort of in position here. Like so. That's just holding it for now, so it doesn't wander wildly on me. And I just gave myself a splinter. Alright, so I just taped it around, just one. I got the splinter out, I'm safe. I will survive yet another day. It's a sad day for my enemies. What? This guy thinks he's funny. This guy's wrong. Alright, so I've got it so it overlaps here. You can see there how it's overlapping like that. And I just need to get a mark that indicates where I need to sand or cut to. And I'm thinking I'm going to try the inside method so I can have it stood upright while I do this. And then I can take this, and this time I definitely need to leave the line so that it does not come to a gappy conclusion. And we'll go trim this one shy. Yeah. Please don't break. Yes, it did not break. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now we are over to the sander, and I'll get to the line or get close to the line here. This is going to take a little back and forth, so I'm just sort of setting it up for position here. I can just come over here now and check an end that it is perfectly square and whatnot. So we'll just get close to that 1/4 inch line there that I'm on, and away we go. Double check that that seam lines up nice. It does. Oh, that's actually really good. I am very pleased with that. That's going to be fine. Okay. That looks great. That looks grand. I can barely even tell. The seams sort of disappeared almost. Perfect. Alright, so then the last step, the last step on this side is to get my little miter where the maple has to go away. So I'm going to reset for that here for just a sec. Alright, so you can see now I've got them butted against each other. There's a seam, a gap up here because they're laying down, they're at an angle because this stuff is pushing things up, because we have to get that maple out of there. So what I'm doing is laying out where that maple has to get cut away. So I'm going to grab a pencil here. I'm going to grab a sharper than that pencil, this one's better. And I'm just going to make a tiny mark there, and you can see it's where the maple is, so that I know I won't go beyond that. And there, so that's where I cannot go past where those lines begin, because that would make a gap. So now I have some lines I can work to, and I can take this back apart, and then I'll just start fitting. And if I get it all fit right, everything should go together well. So I'll bring you out again here, and you can take a peek at the next step. Alright, so we've got them marked, and I can take these apart. And now we pretty much, lefts and rights have been chosen because of the way it was bent, so I'm not real worried about keeping track of anything. I just got to get some stuff out of the way so that I can do this, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've got it clamped here in the parrot vise because I think that's going to be easiest. And I'm going to start out well away from my line and just make a score down the back side, down this, yeah, that's a bit of a mitered score line. And then I'm going to see if I can't peel it up, because I got to get rid of all of this. And I'm literally just barely touching these things because I don't want to go too far. I don't want to take too much, but I got to get some waste out of the way here. without screwing anything up, if at all possible. So I'm just going to scrape away the maple that's here. And I'm wondering if I can't go at it as if it were a scraper here. Sorta works. Yeah, it's not too bad, so we'll just kind of work our way back towards the lines. And I've got to get it square across here, because if it's not square across, it's going to be obvious. Actually, it won't be obvious. I can actually back cut this all I want, because it'll be inside. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to leave that cut right where it is, because it starts about the line. I want to make sure I'm getting it where it needs to be. Let's see if I can come at this flat without wrecking anything. That's okay there. Okay, then we'll come back at it like so. I'm going to spin around now and take this with the front and just get one good slice. That might be too steep for a miter. Okay, now that's pretty clean, although it's kind of tough for you to see, isn't it? That's pretty clean. I'm going to hold it up to the body and see how it works. So I'll bring you back here in just a sec. Take this, unclamp, bring our body over, and just hold it right up to that. Let's see what I can see here. I'm going to come over here so I can look at what I'm doing here. Okay, so what I've got right now is pencil line obscuring my view, but actually the joint looks fine. I'm going to call that good, and I'm going to do the other one, and then we'll see how they mesh. Okay, I'm going to apologize if I end up blocking your view and all, but you can see I've got my pencil line there, and I'm just going to do what I did the last time and just score a spot just ahead of that line. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but I'm just ahead of the line, trying for close to square, and just gently make a bit of a mark there, and then try to peel up that maple. And I'm going to have my fingers in the way, I'm afraid, but I'll just try not to cut myself, and then try to come back this way a little. See if that's going to work. Not too well, so try the scrape game again. Yeah, scraping works well, although the grain is different direction on this one, so it's trickier. So we'll just see if I can slice. Let's try going like this. I'm going to make another little stopping cut here to try. There we go. Rosewood at that point, so now I should be able to come at it. Maybe I can come at it like this. I can do it like this. Just gently work our way down to the rosewood, and then like that. Okay, I'm going to come back one more time with a good solid cut, like so. That looks pretty good. I'm going to do a test fit now on the body. Okay, one more time. We'll take a look at it on this side here. How's that joint look? Hold on, stay put here. Again, the pencil line is a little obscuring, but it looks like that's going to be fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is I messed myself with tape. I need to get some more tape out here. I'm going to go ahead and try to tape it on and do like a test fit of this miter here. A bit O tape there. and a bit of tape there. And then we will take the very delicate, I don't know what I'm doing, that's pretty weird name, weird voices. You should hear the ones inside my head. The ones that get out are nothing compared to what's inside. Hold on to this. Okay, so you can see we've got a gap, obviously, but if I erase my pencil lines, you'll see I have a good bit, like good miters. The miters are lining up perfectly, which is what I wanted. That actually is really good. I'm pleased with that. I think I just stuck my head in the camera, but that's okay. What I need to do, though, is move those miters, and I just need to take a little off of each side. It looks like a little more off of this side than this side. I'll take a little shaving off of this, but the majority of it will be off of this side. And we just need to, I'm just going to move the miters back. Where's my other finger? There it is. This. Hi. Hello. What the hell? Weird. So I'll just move these miters back a little bit, basically giving me a little more rosewood sticking out that I can push together. So, all right, real quick, we'll pull you back and I'll do that whole fitting process, and then I'll bring you back and show you what I did. Alright, pretty darn good. That's exactly what I was shooting for once it's pushed against things. So this sticks out just a tiny bit, but once there's tape and glue and whatnot holding that, you'll see that the miter wraps around beautifully. Everything looks really good. I'm very pleased with that outcome. That seam is great. I like it. I'm really, really happy with that. Cool. Alright, well, that went really good. And I'm so emboldened by my success that I'm going to try to do the front one as well while I'm confident and patient. Part of this is just it requires a degree of patience that it's higher than my normal degree of patience, we'll say that. Okay, so those are the back ones. We now do have to keep track of fronts and backs if I'm going to do them both. The backs are going to get chalked a little bit. How about that? You are a back, and I'll just do them right here. It'll be easy to see because they have the tiny thing, but there. Now they're chalked, and I now know those are my back ones. We'll go get the front ones, yeah. And yeah, we might as well do this process on this side now. One more dry fit. I've decided I will do the back binding, get them perfect to length down at the headstock end, or at the neck end. But to do that, I want to get it glued. I want to get it tight all the way. And so I'm doing kind of a full-on dry run now, including with the binding, or with the purfling. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this purfling stick out a little bit first, this first side. So it's going to take, it's 2 layers of purfling, so it's going to take a little bit of doing to juggle them together. So I'm just going to start it that way, and then we can get the binding in here as well at the same time. What I'll probably do is just keep an auxiliary chunk of tape available hold things intermediately in place while I'm going to fold back a tab so it's easy to remove, while I maneuver the rest of this. Yeah, because that's going to take some see, it's going to take some finessing. All right, I'm just getting myself mentally and logistically prepared for the gluing. I'm going to do one side first, wrap it with rubber bands, let that dry, then I'll flip it and do the other side. I don't want to try to do them both. But first, I want to drill a hole right in the neck block where the dovetail is going to be. I'm going to put a hole here and drive a screw in, because when I do the I guess I could have put a dowel there, but when I do the rubber bands, I'm going to need somewhere for them to hook onto and stop. So this hole will get cut away by the dovetailing operation, and you'll never see it. You'll never know it was there unless you watch the videos, which is fine with me. But now that gives the rubber bands a place to grab when I start to wrap it. So I've just prepared myself for that, and I'm not doing that in the middle of a wet gluing situation. Let's see, what else do I want to do ahead of time? I think I'm going to lay out a bunch more tape. This stuff I'm going to take off. I'm going to start over with tape. And one of the other things I will do is get some of the binding tape that I have, the really expensive thick stuff that works really well. Where this stuff fails me and I want a little bit more tension, that stuff grips better and will give me that extra tension that I seek. I think that's scary. I think that's it. I think we're ready to get after this. So let me get myself organized and work out how I'm going to get 3 pieces together with glue quickly, tightly. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that a little bit more before I venture forth. But we're getting there. We're gonna get this thing going. I thought about doing it purfling first, just purfling, then do the binding, and I suppose I could. But then I have to clean up what happens to whatever the glue squeeze out is in the binding channel. It's going to be easier, I think, to get the binding to sit better this way if I just do it all at once, because I know I can get it tight that way. It's just a matter of making sure that the glue doesn't start setting way too soon or whatever. Yeah, okay. Gearing up my chicken shit. Here we go. Okay, so after more dry runs off camera and more chicken shit moving, I'm scared, but I'm gonna do this. We're gonna glue this on. So I got my 2 layers of purfling, my layer of binding that'll go along one side, and I've got the others over here, and I have a plethora of tape. So hopefully that'll go, and once all 5, 6 pieces are on, once both sides, both halves are on, both left and right sides are on, I'll wrap this thing with rubber bands and let it sit overnight, then I'll do the front side. But I'm not going to bother talking because I'm already kind of in my head about it. I need to move fairly quickly. I only have so much open time before the glue will set up, and I want to get everything in place. I hope that this panic does not snap any purfling that I have already kind of pre-shaped a little bit and I'm already happy with. So I'm just going to try to take it easy. I have a lot of surface area I have to cover. I have to get glue between the purfling, get glue on the walnut, glue on the purfling, glue on this side of the purfling to the second piece of purfling, then the glue on that side to the binding and bind. Yeah. So there's a fair bit of finesse I need to work out. And I'm wondering if, I think I might shorten the bristles on this. So basically what's going to happen is you get to watch some really frantic me running around futzing with this, making this function, making this done, getting this done, while you listen to beautiful music, hopefully. Yeah, so I'm literally 15-20 seconds from let's get after this. So I'm going to switch off the mic, take the apron off so I'm just not encumbered by anything, and get after it. Whew, all right, well, that took a while, but I'm confident that, yeah, the rubber bands are pulling everything nice and tight. No gappies. We'll have no gappies. It's looking good. It's looking really good. Whew, that is a stressful little bit. But in the end, I don't see any gaps. So the only real fear, I guess is the best term, is whether or not this joint is pretty. It should be, but no guarantees, you know. This strap came a little loose on me, so I'm gonna bring him right to there. That'll help a little bit too. So I don't know how pretty this little joinery is, but it's what it is. It's what I've got. Anything that comes out of it I'll handle, but in the end I feel as though this binding process has been a success. I didn't have any failures, nothing broke, no snappage. I got no splinters, thank goodness. Yeah, so it's as good as it's going to be with my fingers crossed. So pretty sure we're fine. Move this one over to here so it's a little more vertical. Let's see if maybe I can't. Oh, that one's gonna. There's a little bit of a knot there. Not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to call this wait till tomorrow and see how it turned out. Eek. So there was a point where this was on the floor and the rubber bands were piled on top of it. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea at the time, but I did it and it made me annoyed very quickly. And but in the end we got her done. That is a stressful, painful time. I don't like those long glue-ups, or those long, fussy detail glue-ups are really tough on me. But gotta do them if you're gonna build these things. So yeah. Anyways, wait till tomorrow. We'll bring you back.